Welcome back, listeners. We are here with the Hero Whispers and your host, Jeannie Marie, founder and chief Supergirl at supergirls.com. That's two L's, the second L for love. Supergirls, who are we and why are we here? We are a platform that inspires and empowers college women and young alums to launch from college to life. We want to help these young women be all they can be in the real world after they graduate from the amazing place called college. So we help them network, we help them get mentors, and we also love to hear their stories. And today we have an amazing young woman that I've known since she was in high school, gorgeous, tall, amazing beauty, Victoria Guardino. And she joins us from NYC. She grew up in New York City. She is a recent graduate from Trinity College. She attributes her independence and spunk from growing up in New York City as an only child and product of divorce. In college, she majored in both sociology and creative writing. Victoria, the Queen Victoria, has always been outspoken about her opinions and beliefs, and studying sociology has only strengthened her understanding of how the world is created to advantage some and disadvantage others. However uncertain about her future, Victoria knows that she wants to dedicate her life to helping those that are systemically disregarded, doing work that makes her go to bed at night feeling accomplished. This past fall, Victoria spent 4 months studying abroad in Copenhagen, Denmark, and she hopes to one day move back there and immerse herself fully in Danish culture. Wow, that is so cool. Victoria, welcome to the show.
Hi, Jeannie. Thank you so much for having me. This is so exciting.
OMG. I have been wanting you to be on this show forever. So, everybody, she is so cool. She was like BFFs with my son in high school. And her mom is Queen Eleanor of all queens. She is amazing. She is super talented interior designer. And she has been on the podcast before, too, because she's got mad design skills. She helped us in our new home. And it looked really amazing because of her eye for color and all that. So shout out to Eleanor on the call. Eleanor!
Shout out, Eleanor.
Okay, but this is all about Victoria because we want to hear her story. We want to hear how she's going to go out there in the world and really make a difference because she is the bombshell. She recently published this unbelievable piece, which that's how we reconnected, this unbelievable content about Black Lives Matter and everything that's going on with that movement and how to really help people get educated around that and move us all forward instead of having a divide. So I just was like blown away, and so many people were blown away by what she did. And obviously Victoria is hugely talented in the writing, on the writing side. And again, I just want to say congrats on your graduation. Woo! You're a graduate in the real world. Woo!
I know, it's pretty crazy.
It is. I can't even believe it. Like, you guys are like, graduated now, and I knew you went. But what is this thing about you feel? I mean, obviously there's been a lot of uncertainty in the world right now and stuff, but you mentioned being uncertain in what you want to do. And I would love to hear your journey and, how you got here and how you're thinking about the future.
Yeah, so right now, I don't know what I'm planning on doing for work. I graduated last month from Trinity, and I am definitely scared by that. Like everyone's saying, this quote unquote most unprecedented times that we're living through is very frightening. But for some reason, the fact that there are 40 million people in the US that are currently unemployed, it makes me feel a little bit better that I don't have a job right out of college. But I've just been trying to take this time in quarantine and focus on myself and trying to be productive, like working on my activism and just like personal passions that I've had that I've hadn't had time for in the past 4 years, and, just recharging and resting. But I studied sociology, I studied creative writing, and both these majors aren't something that, has a definite career path. So it's not like I was doing like finance and then I know that I'm going to spend the rest of my life working on finance. Like you really have a lot of options, and people, the alums from my school and other schools that I know who study sociology, go into many different career paths. So I'm currently really interested in media and publishing and journalism, like editorial writing. So I'm going to try and get into that world, but also just like feel it out. I feel like sociology gave me a really good background and just head on my shoulders. So I feel like I can just take this degree and my knowledge and, do anything with it. So that makes me feel a little bit better.
Okay. You are a force to be reckoned with. And absolutely whatever you decide to do you're going to rock it. I mean, truthfully, I mean, that's you guys, you go to these amazing liberal arts schools and you study these subjects that you are fascinated with, right? And you learn so much. And like, I'm amazed how you guys graduate today, and you just have such a beautiful perspective on the world. It's just so different than when I was your age. And so much you can do with that, especially in writing. And as far as having a job, yeah, you're right. I mean, the thing is, you're going to work the rest of your life. Exactly. I mean, you're working towards it. As long as you're working towards it and thinking about it and all that, I mean, you work really hard for 4 years. You need a little bit of a rest. So
yes, definitely.
I know Eleanor feels really good about that too. I'm sure she agrees. She's all about the Zen.
Yeah, she's trying to get me to do Pilates with her. So
awesome. Yeah, how do you stay centered and focused? What is your kind of routine?
Honestly, I attribute it all, the little bit of sanity that I do have, to therapy. I think that there are some people who are so health and not being okay and wanting to force this narrative that we always have to be okay and strong and, hold ourselves together. But in this day and age, it's impossible. I mean, I have been going to therapy most of my life, and it's just been a constant safe space for me, a place where I can talk about things that are going on, no matter how small or big or whatever. And really just talking to someone about things happening in my life has kept me sane. I'm not a huge fitness person. I'm not a huge, just like, I don't know, really just doing things so simply. Going to therapy and having meditation apps on my phone, for the most part, are like the top two, like Zen, like mental health things that I do to keep myself sane.
Well, everyone's different. So that's why I was just curious, because it feels to me, that you're really centered. The piece you wrote, I want to talk about that for a minute, because it was so monumental and so, it's so telling, and just like about, who you are as a human. That, can you share a little bit about that, with like how you got inspired to write that and curate it with your friend and then share it, and it was beautifully done. And just, I don't know. I mean, that's like what movements are made of. So I would love for you to talk about that. Yeah,
for sure. I was prompted to create that post basically through communicating with my white peers and having them reach out to me always, but especially during this time, and asking me like for advice on how they can educate their parents or relatives or whoever on what's happening in the world. And I'm personally really lucky to have parents that agree with me for the most part on my political views. I'm definitely more radical than them, but I do think it's hard for these adults to understand that we as millennials and Gen Z like know things that they just don't. I think we are like the most badass generation yet, and we're learning things in school that our parents never did in our curriculums and everything. And it's important that we educate them, no matter if we're the younger ones and they're supposed to be, superior. And the Black Lives Matter movement and defunding the police and all of that is such a crucial thing that we need to pay attention to. I decided to basically put out on my Instagram that I wanted advice from my white peers about how they're having these conversations. And I was inundated with responses. And I basically took my favorite ones, categorized them, like 1 or 2 in a category, and then made this like 9-slide presentation on Instagram. I had my best friend, Jillian Fink, do the design. She's an insanely talented graphic designer. And I posted on my Instagram. I had a great feeling about it. I was confident in my work and I was really proud of it, but my expectations were blown out of the water. I think it has like 9,000 likes on Instagram right now. It was bookmarked 11,000 times. It's been shared over 8,000 times. You know, all these multiple celebrities and influencers that I look up to posted it, and it was just insane. Me and my friend Jillian were so shook, but also so appreciative of the success, and really saw that it was resonating with people, and that's what we wanted to do. I could care less about Instagram fame and, you know, notoriety. It was more about, I want to get this message out and I want to help people, and it seems like it's doing the job.
Wow. That is epic. Yeah, I mean, okay, so let's talk about your background too, because you have a really unique background. I mean, your parents are biracial, and so how do you like identify yourself? You know, as a woman, do you identify yourself as a Black woman or white woman or biracial? Like, how do you think about that?
Yeah, I definitely identify myself as biracial, but I do say that I am a Black woman more than I probably say that I am a white woman. I think that because being biracial in itself is very complicated, and I've had a lot of conversations about this with my other biracial peers, but when you're not white passing, which means like if you're white passing, you aren't white, but you can pass as being white through your physical characteristics. I'm not white passing. I'm very much have a darker complexion. Even though a lot of people don't assume I'm Black, I've gotten that I'm Hispanic, Indian, all these other things. I can definitely, you know, resonate more and identify myself more with the Black community because of that. When people look at me, they don't see a white woman, therefore I don't feel like a white woman. I don't have the privileges that white women have. So that is how I identify myself. And it's definitely hard. And, you know, people treat me differently. And there's this whole idea that, you know, light-skinned women are treated way more, they're just treated better than darker-skinned women. And that is a whole, you know, other conversation and horrible thing that's like perpetuated by white society and white supremacy. But yeah, I'm a biracial / Black woman.
Do you think that you lean more on the Black woman side because you spent more time with your mom? Or, I mean, because she's, you know, 100% of a Black female? Does it have something to do with that? Or is it more just in the physical characteristics and your own feelings, your own kind of cultural associations?
I think it's just more in the physical just attributes that I have personally, because I think if I had like lighter skin and maybe, you know, colored eyes or something, it would be different. But I definitely, because I don't even think me and my mom look alike at all. I think that I actually look like my white father more, but just simply because of my darker skin tone, I think that like I just identify myself more with being a Black woman.
Just so you guys know, she is freaking gorgeous. She's like this tall, thin, exotic-looking female. So yeah, I can see why people get confused. People get confused. She would be on the runway. Yes. Maybe you should do that, Victoria. I think you should be on the runway.
Oh my God, I don't know if I could do that.